With the success of Gundam Unicorn and with an anime adaptation of Gundam The Origin on the way, it looks like there's now an exciting precedent set for animated adaptations of Gundam novels and manga. It suddenly feels like our favorite printed Gundam stories that for years we've wished we could see in anime form could actually get that chance somewhere down the line. Since Unicorn and Origin were part of Gundam's 30th and 35th anniversary celebrations respectively, maybe a lavish OVA adaptation of a manga or novel will become a mainstay part of every big Gundam anniversary. Or maybe they can just give a fan-favorite book the anime treatment whenever they're low on ideas for the next Gundam TV series. Only time will tell, but in the meantime, just for the hell of it, I've made a little wish list of Gundam manga and novels that I'd most love to see become anime someday. Now, in regards to which titles I picked and why, I assure you this isn't just going to be several minutes of me being another petulant, entitled fanboy proclaiming, "Bandai should make an anime of this manga." Well, why that series? Because I want them to. I admit my list is still fairly subjective and personal, but I at least tried to compile it with a combination of what I, as an eager fan, would really like to see get adapted, and what I, as a realistic thinker, believe we can reasonably hope to see, based on how popular a series is or how much actual demand for an adaptation there is, from what I can tell. Therefore, as much as I'd love to see anime versions of manga like Gundam X Under the Moonlight or Gundam Wing G-Unit, they're not on the list because they probably don't have nearly as much of a chance as the series that are here. So, here we go. My top 5 Gundam manga or novels I hope will become anime. Number 5. Gundam Sentinel. This one's lower on the list, mostly because I haven't actually read the novel. Though I've heard you can find it in English, so one of these days I'll definitely have to check it out. Sentinel takes place during Gundam Double Zeta, and is about a special task force of Federation, AUG, and Karaba veterans who are sent to put a stop to an insurrection by rebels intent on continuing where the Titans left off. Our heroes are armed with some very cool, very special mobile suits, such as the Phaz Trio, the Zeta Plus units, and the Superior Gundam, or S Gundam, and its even bulkier, overloaded upgrade, the Extraordinary Superior Gundam, or XS Gundam. And probably the most intriguing feature of the S Gundam is its increasingly self-aware artificial intelligence called Alice. Sentinel has a promising-sounding premise, awesome mobile suits, apparently a more technical, realistic feel, which many Gundam fans will very much appreciate, and since the Double Zeta period of the Universal Century hasn't been expanded upon that much, an anime of this would be quite welcome. Another reason it's low on the list is apparent copyright complications that may hurt the likelihood of a Sentinel adaptation, making some extra trouble Bandai would have to go through, so it really depends on whether or not they, with that in mind, decide it's worth making into an anime. But it does have some nice MS designs that would surely sell models, in fact some already have, and the novel has become a favorite of many over the years. So here's hoping they decide a Gundam Sentinel anime is worth it one of these days. I'm sure they won't regret it. Number 4. Hathaway's Flash. People have been speculating a lot recently about an adaptation of this, especially since with Unicorn still fresh in everyone's minds, it would make sense to follow up with a series like this, which chronologically takes place after it. Another novel I haven't read myself, although I do know the cliff notes of how it ends, and, well, just don't expect anything as grand and uplifting as Unicorn's finale. But I digress. The story focuses on Hathaway Noah, son of Captain Bright Noah. Haunted by the death of his beloved Quess, fed up with the corruption of the Earth Federation government, and armed with the powerful Cassie Gundam, Hathaway joins a merry band of terrorists on a mission to stop the Federation from tightening their grip on the people further. An animated adaptation of Hathaway's Flash could involve some retcons or debatable canonicity, since it follows up on the events of Char's counterattack as they played out in its novel version, Beltorchica's Children. Which, come to think of it, an anime adaptation of that might be a good idea too. They're basically retelling the original series by adapting Origin, so they could do that with Char's counterattack too if they really wanted. Anyway, certain things in that novel, like the circumstances of Quess's death, differed a bit from the film version we know. I don't know how much the story of Hathaway's Flash would be hurt if they were to alter the backstory to fit more with the continuity of the Char's counterattack film, but they could always just say, screw it, it doesn't have to be perfectly canon, just enjoy it as its own story. The mecha, of course, are a big part of the appeal, especially the hulking, sharp, and all-around really unique-looking Cassie Gundam and Penelope Gundam. The Cassie has already gotten some video game appearances and a Robot Damashi figure, which I'm sure have really contributed to the increased desire for a Hathaway's Flash anime and the making of more models, toys, etc. Like I said, I don't know all the details of the story, so I don't know how well it would actually lend itself to an animated series or film, but one thing I am certain of is that Hathaway's Flash has definitely piqued my interest, and I know I'm far from being the only one. Number 3. Gundam Seed Astray. Even though I personally place it higher on the list, I know this probably isn't more likely to get adapted than Hathaway's Flash. The renewed enthusiasm for the Cosmic Era universe brought on by Seed and Seed Destiny's 10th anniversaries maybe could have given Astray the extra fuel it needed to finally get a proper animated series, but at present it looks like that chance came and went. Maybe when Seed's 20th anniversary comes around. Or maybe sooner, it's really hard to tell with this series. They did already make those 5-minute red frame and blue frame OVA shorts, plenty of model kits, video game appearances, and one follow-up manga after another over the years. The Astray series remains one of the most, if not the most, beloved non-Universal Century Gundam manga out there. Even lots of people who don't at all care for the Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny TV series can't bring themselves to say they hate the whole Cosmic Era universe because they found the Astray side story so enjoyable. And it's not even a big, serious epic or anything. It's simple and fun, and from a fresh, different perspective than most Gundam stories. It begins with 3 prototype Gundams built in secret by the Orb Union falling into the hands of a clever, happy-go-lucky junk scavenger/mechanic, a badass professional mercenary, and a villainous aristocrat, and later his less villainous twin sister. What follows are their various adventures on the sidelines of the main Seed story, which provide creative action scenes, fun new characters, and it actually does a much better job of fleshing out the Seed world than either of the TV series did, again thanks to that different perspective. A strength that more or less persists in the sequels, which follow a reject from the Ultimate Coordinator Project, a photojournalist, people from the Martian colonies, and more. I'd of course be overjoyed if all of the Astray titles were adapted eventually, but a TV series or OVA combining the full narrative of Astray and Astray R is what we can more reasonably hope for, and what I would be quite happy with. If Gundam Seed Astray continues to be popular and profitable, Bandai just might make it happen someday.